Welcome to the 381st episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on March 24th, 2024. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who's been very busy discussing principles with giant lizards, Carlos Ranella.
I don't think I've been discussing anything. I've been killing them.
Well, the subject of Dogma never came up with all those dragons?
Oh, yeah. They didn't give me a chance. They just attacked first, and we couldn't have a discussion.
I think you're missing out on a lot of hot topics there that you could really be deep diving into. Do some philosophy, perhaps.
I would love to. I'm Mr. Philosophy, so I'll try next time.
Maybe
that being
keep
said,
the sword sheathed next time, my friend. Come on now.
Okay. But that being said, the game, which we'll get to, Dragon's Dogma 2, does have a lot of like systems at play and people having really, some deep discussion. So it can happen in the game. I just don't think with the lizards.
Wow. We shall see, my friend. We shall see. Folks, we're back. It is now another podcast. We're here doing it live for us, pre-recorded for you. I say, Carlos, let's get to it. You all ready?
I am, but also 2424. That's the name of our podcast because
it felt weird when I said it. I was like March 24th and then 2000, and I kind of stumbled 2024.
It's got weird. That's what you have to call the show, I think. All it's so random. Well, it isn't random. It's like
we knew it was coming.
Yeah, at some point.
If you look on the calendar, we can predict it. So it wasn't a surprise, but I was still surprised.
I'm surprised. 2424.
Got it.
Before we get into housekeeping proper and kind of the banter section, which doesn't always exist, you sometimes, when you're on your solo podcast version of this show, talk about chickens, hens, right?
I have 11 chickens right now, and they just started laying again. For people that don't know, chickens are extremely light dependent, and when the winter months get dark, their bodies kind of go into shutdown, and they can go a really long time without ever laying an egg. But we have genetically designed them to, or genetically bred them to lay at least one egg per day, which is totally against the laws of nature. But when the spring comes back and the sun comes out and the light gets longer, they need at least 16 hours of sun, or light anyway, and they'll do one egg a day. And so I just gave 18 eggs to my neighbor because I had too many eggs.
Wow. Well, there you go. Perfect setup. And now dunk, because I want to talk about eggs.
Dunk. Nothing but net, my friend.
Well,
Proceed.
It's a good dunk, and yeah. So eggs, real quickly. Chickens, eggs, what came first, I don't know. But I was recently scrolling through TikTok, and I saw some guy, which some people might know, because I guess he's pretty popular. But he starts most of his videos saying, hey, you've been making this dish wrong your whole life. Don't fuck it up. Here's how to do it right. And his catchphrase is don't fuck it up. Okay. And in 30 seconds, he shows you how to make something. Uh-huh. Well, holy fuck, he's right on at least the one that I tried, which was scrambled eggs.
Oh, Lord. I know where you're going with this. Go
on.
Wait,
are you?
Yes, I'm sure that I do, but go on.
I'm sure you don't.
I bet I do, but go ahead.
Anyways, I just made them the last 2 days this way, so whatever you're about to say doesn't matter because he's right. They taste better, right? But he's basically said some basic things that maybe I just didn't know, but he's like, you've been cooking eggs wrong. Let me give you a quick setup. How I generally have done it in the past is I just put it on medium heat. I put the eggs in. I put milk or whatever, sometimes to make it creamy, I thought. And butter.
In a scrambled egg.
In a scrambled egg. Yeah. And I just kind of let it simmer for a while and then I go and check on it and it's usually stuck to the bottom a little. And I don't know. I just kind of every time I feel bad about I'm not doing it right,
You shouldn't feel bad after cooking eggs, Carlos. That's
No. It tastes great and I feel great. I'm just saying it doesn't come out always right. So that's the past tense. So anyways, what he said is you just put it on medium high, so a little higher than I normally have it. You put the butter in, wait for the butter. As soon as the butter starts boiling, or getting really crazy, you throw the eggs in, you take it off the heat, okay? Mm-hmm. You keep it off the heat while you're stirring it and to make sure nothing's stuck. And then you put it back on the heat and then take it off, kind of off and on again. Then you throw more butter in, which cools it, the eggs, and keep it off the heat with the butter that you just threw in. Then you put it back and put a little seasoning. It's just a simple thing like that, and it's fantastic.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
What's your deal with this?
Well, there was the whole, I think it was Gordon Ramsay that was making a big fucking deal about eggs, and it was all over my fucking Instagram for a while because I do follow a lot of food people because me and my wife are, pretty into food and cooking for ourselves and stuff like that. And it was not exactly the thing you said, but it was like, oh, if you put seasoning in the eggs first, then you're a complete tosser, and if you put them in at the end, then you're a pro. And like there was just like back and forth, and people started doing like this whole like scientific breakdown of does it actually taste different at what point you put the salt in and all this nonsense. And whatever.
Well,
and then he cooked them, and fuck Gordon Ramsay anyway, because half the food he cooks looks fucking disgusting to me. Like I know he's like this world famous chef or whatever, but like he does not cook to my taste. And I saw his eggs, and I'm like, oh God, get those out of here, dude.
Okay, so this is a Gordon Ramsay issue that you have because this is not this person.
No, slightly different. No, and what you're describing is slightly different than what I was thinking you were going to do. So.
Yeah, and I'll say this again: why I like this person. Of course, I didn't look up his name. Sorry, but if you say don't fuck it up on TikTok, you'll find him. But he just keeps it simple. He's not literally saying like you have to do this, but like that tip alone is fixed my eggs forever. Like that's it. It fixed it because there's nothing stuck on the bottom. You know what I mean? And I was like, I really was doing it wrong my whole life. Like his total value add made sense. And so now just taking it off and on the heat, you know what I mean? And then adding some little bit butter at the end to cool it. It actually worked. It like cooled the eggs a little bit so they didn't like just fry themselves to death, you know?
Sure.
And that's what happens in scrambled eggs. Like you get this kind of dry, crappy thing. Welcome back to the Egg Cast. We'll talk about games in a second. But anyways, you do that and it actually does work. There you go.
I will not try that because it sounds gross. That's not okay.
Wait, what's gross? What?
Number one, too much butter, and like the off and on is like annoying. And like, do you like your eggs like
annoying? It took me 1 minute.
Scrambled eggs are very individual. I have found over the years because I would have eggs from people, and they'd be like, "Here's my best scrambled eggs," and I'm like, "Oh God, these are gross. Like they're too wet, or sometimes they're underdone."
These aren't wet. These aren't wet.
All right.
I'm telling you, the sandwich I made this morning, basically I do that, then I make an English muffin, and I put it on the English muffin, I put a little shredded cheese on top and some cayenne pepper. I'm telling you, boy, it is good.
I got told.
Okay.
All right.
Eggcast.
Now that we've lost our entire audience, let's move on to
We'll have to do one of those like chapter things where you can skip it, you know?
We need to start putting timestamps in, and we can just put like eggs.
Yes.
And then after that, people can just jump to that.
We should do timestamps. Jeez Louise.
It's too much work.
Okay.
Too much work. All right, folks. Starting things off after we did start things off with the eggs. I guess we're double starting today. Carlos and I have a virtual living space divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape. His side, my side. Things are a mess, and we're going to tidy up right here and right now. It is housekeeping. Carlos, I've only got one thing today here. It's pretty spick and span. What do you got on your side, sir?
First I have a computer that just decided to play audio, so I apologize for that. I'm seeing, oh my goodness, I'm seeing a full list of notes. Good golly, what do I start with? Well, I do want to mention this. We're going to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2 in the podcast.
We are, yes.
This is kind of like a thing I want to just get out of the way because it's not, I don't want to talk about in my review of the game, but like everyone is kind of, bitching about the monetization part of it.
I haven't heard anything. I've been kind of on media blackout.
Okay, well, I'll just say this at the top because this is something I don't want to talk about when I'm talking about the actual game.
Okay.
But people are freaking out that you can pay for some things that are really helpful in the game. Like a lot of people have said, Capcom has done this before. Other game developers do this all the time. They do charge you a regular full price for a game, and then they charge you on top of that if you want.
What kind of stuff are we talking about?
Right. So some of the stuff is like super helpful in the fact that like you can change your appearance in the game, but you have to find these things to do it, like these special tomes, and there's only so many of them, so it is like limited. But if you pay $3 or something, you can like buy a new one.
Okay.
So that's kind of weird a little bit. And then there's things like fast travel and things that aren't normally in the game that you can do, or like things that are limited amount of they have in the game you can buy. I'm playing for now 15 hours. Haven't needed anything. I'm never going to need something from that store.
Let me follow up on that just really quickly because we're going to get into this, and I know we're kind of jumping the gun.
Well, that's why I thought we'd do this part first because this is not the game,
Right. But let me just ask just on this one particular thing. So for people that don't know, the first Dragon's Dogma was kind of like anti-fast travel almost because part of the game is just planning your trip, getting it from point A to point B. But there was eventually, like once you got a good patch into it, you had like limited fast travel. Like you could go to maybe like a couple of places and like that was it. They really wanted you to like hike back and forth because that was like a big part of the game. Are you saying, if I'm understanding you, that if you don't like that and you bought this game, you can pay like $5 and get like a bunch more fast travel? Is that what's happening?
Just more fast travel. Yeah, the whole idea is this, and unless people play it, there's so much like just media outrage or like consumer outrage and they haven't played the game. If you play the game, you realize that you can do all these things. Like there is a fast travel for certain stones you find in certain towns, but you have to unlock them. You have to originally walk to them. And so a lot of the game developer and, what they wanted you to have the experience of, which like you said, is kind of like walking to places and finding the adventure. You still have to do all that, but like if you buy the things, it just helps you, traverse the map quicker, I guess, or something. So I don't know. I feel like it's not a huge uptick like on when you buy stuff. So that's what is equally weird because it's like even if you buy stuff, it's not like changing the game. You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah, it sounds to me like those. I guess is it comparable to like the boosters that Ubisoft used to sell? I don't know if it is or not, but like, I forget which game it was. It might have been Assassin's Creed Odyssey, even where you would get experience and just play the game. But if you were like, I want to level up faster, I can spend $5 and get like the double experience booster. You didn't need it, but if you were that kind of gamer, you want to just play a little faster, you could pay, a $5. Is that kind of like this feeling like it's not necessary, but if you want to just make things easier on yourself, you can?
Well, why it's getting so much backlash is because it's a little bit more important than that. Here's a good example.
Okay.
There's like a thing you can buy which like gets you out of jail. Now, you could also just never go to jail because you're smart and you don't do the things that could get you in jail. But if you find yourself in jail, the very first time, like there'll be a key somewhere and you can get out, right? But then the second time you're in jail, which again, you had to put yourself in that position.
You had to do something bad.
Yeah, you'd have to like bribe the guard or do something like much more difficult, or it takes a lot of money from you. It's 10,000 or whatever gold or something, and so you could buy a jail key. You know what I mean? So that is super helpful, but again, for a very specific thing. And like changing your appearance, like I really did need to fix my face, and I'm happy that I found something in game that let me do that. I think there's another one, but there's only a couple. So if for some reason I like messed it up, that again is super helpful. That's
weird to me because like if you were doing the character creator, wouldn't you just do it until you were satisfied and then you don't ever need to do it again? I don't.
Perfect example is, and people listening know this.
Okay.
You do that, but then you see yourself in game and it's a little off.
Oh, I see.
You know
so maybe
mean?
like the nose is bigger than you manage, or the hair is in the right shade or something.
My nose was bigger, and my head was like not the right shape, and I was too fat or something. And you couldn't tell, You can't fully tell. So
sure,
I did fix it, and I'm excited to show you. I showed you a little bit last night, but
yeah, it looked a lot like you, dude.
It's crazy, dude. It's like a little creepy because it's like it's almost perfect, spot on. So anyway, long story short, I don't think I just want people to know the monetization stuff isn't needed. I'll probably finish the game and never ever touch it, but it's there. It's weird that it's like super helpful things, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's the weird part, but you also don't need it.
It doesn't sound like it's super relevant. I mean, it doesn't sound like the game is broken without it. So
it's not broken without it. Yeah, it isn't. And most of that stuff you can find in game. There's a couple things you can't find in game, but again, you can work around all of it. So
sure.
That's all for that.
All right.
Oh, by the way, I mentioned this last episode. Someone, I think the YouTube channel is called SNES Drunk.
Okay.
Funny name.
Yeah.
But someone who follows our show, I think, was talking about it, maybe in the Discord. I forgot, or on Twitter maybe. But they mentioned that I would like this new video that they did, which was on Utopia. Do you remember that game?
Oh, way back on the TurboGrafx, yeah.
Yes, and Utopia 2. And they did like a whole little retrospective on that series. And it made me want to go back and play it so bad. But yeah, just brought some memories to me, and I thought I'd give them a shout out. SNES Drunk.
Right on.
Very good
on
job.
YouTube?
Yeah,
All
on
right.
YouTube.
Cool.
In dumb news, in absolutely dumb, stupid news, Mother 3 is going to switch Japan only.
I heard that, yes. I did hear that.
What the hell?
Well, no one's ever accused Nintendo of making smart choices, so...
Good golly, man.
It's very. I know you are definitely a huge fan of that. I was curious. I haven't really gone into that series, but I was kind of keeping my eye on it, and I know that a lot of people were really bummed.
I don't even understand still or can process
They don't like money. They don't like it.
No, I
They
can't
don't want
process
it.
that, but I also can't process that you've never played Earthbound series.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, no. I mean, so here's how that happened. Back in the day, SNES, you were poor. I was poor.
Yeah.
Took me like 3 or 4 months at least to buy a game because we were broke as fuck. We were on like welfare for a while. We like went to food banks. I mean, I was poor, dude. So buying a game was like no small thing. And like, I go into Toys R Us back then, if anybody knows what Toys R Us is, because it's been gone for a while.
It's been gone, yeah.
You look at the wall of games where you look at the little slips that you flip up and check. And Earthbound just never made the cut. It was always like Final Fantasy 2 or, whatever else was hot that day. I was like, oh man, Earthbound, but this other one looks pretty good too. And you didn't really know. If you were lucky, you subscribed to Nintendo Power Magazine to maybe get some feedback, or maybe you had a friend in the playground who had played something. But most of the time, you were flying blind. You were just doing like screenshots on the back of the box, And so, I got through that period. We moved through the SNES, and it just never made the cut. There was always some other game that I was more interested in. And then you fast forward, and then for a while, it was like you just didn't have an SNES for a while. You packed it up, or you moved on with your life or something. You played something else. And then, it became a retro collector thing. So like, you don't really see retro collector stores very much anymore. And like I think at the time when I was looking for it, when I finally had gotten into my head to give it a shot, I think it was already like at like $300 or something like that. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to spend $300 on an SNES game, which I'm not even sure that I like even. And then it just, there's just always 10,000 other games to play. So it just never made it to the top of my pile.
Well, similarly, I grew up poor and welfare and all that stuff, and I also could only afford so many things. I've talked about on the show before, but I went and was a janitor and did I was a bag boy, and I made money on these small jobs to get TurboGrafx. And so once I bought into the ecosystem, which we talk about nowadays,
we do,
of TurboGrafx, I was in because I'd spent all my money on that. And so I did miss it early on too. That said, I got Earthbound before it got crazy expensive. So in college...
That's a very small window, by the way,
yes,
so you got lucky.
Yeah. In college, I was like, okay, let's get a Super Nintendo for the room, because we had an apartment. We rented off campus, and it was like me and a few people. And then everybody came over, and we'd hang out. And again, this is showing our age, but like back then, it was cool to have like a Super Nintendo at the house so you could play Mario Kart.
Oh, sure.
So we got that. And at that time, I went to like a EB Games or something, GameStop or whatever, and I bought. Wait, GameStop wasn't GameStop back then yet. Yeah,
it was like Babbage's software,
something else. Yeah, but we bought Earthbound because we were like, oh yeah, we've always wanted to play that when we were a kid. We forgot about it, and so we played it kind of as a group effort. Like me and a few people played it together, like they would watch and stuff, and it was really amazing. Like I had a really good time with it, and we named some of the people. Our friends in college and stuff.
Oh, sure.
And so, yeah, I think we bought it at the store for like $50 or whatever, like what it costs. And so that's why once I played it in college, and also, you know how things in college have a golden hue to them or something.
Sure.
Because like rose tinted glasses or something, formative years. And so I always thought fondly of it. And then I went back and played the first one, which is essentially the same game. And then when I played, oh no, that's it. Right. There's only 2 games.
Yeah, there's only 2.
Yeah. But that's why. I think it's because I played in college. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. But yeah, it wasn't something that was super easy. Like the time when it was easy, it just never happened. And then it got really difficult after that. And like Nintendo hasn't really made it super easy either. So
yeah.
Anyways,
that's sad. And then lastly, I had this is a weird thing, and I thought I'd bring up a discussion for us. Because, frame rate can also be talked about with Dragon's Dogma 2. It's got issues.
I've heard that.
And I thought it would before we said that. But this article came out and said the PS5 Pro has a bunch of cool things. We probably, neither of us will get it. But an AI chip, which definitely you don't want.
Fuck that. I'll take it out.
It's going to be in all new systems. But anyways.
Anyway.
And it's like doing ray tracing better and all this stuff. But someone said that the PS5 Pro might not be able to run GTA 6 at 60 frames per second. So that gives it 2 things I want to say about it. One, what? Because then why would anyone ever want to buy it? Like, you're going to buy, what are you buying it for? Secondly, when are we going to catch up? Moore's Law or whatever it is. Like, it's going to happen. Like it's going to happen where frame rate's not an issue. Like quantum computing, whatever it is.
No, you don't. You might know Moore's law. You don't know the developer's law, where the developers will always push it further than it can go every single time. They never know when to stop. They
Right,
never
but
know when
60
to quit.
is an achievable thing. It doesn't matter if they push it. You could still get 60.
I mean, you'd think so, and yet,
Well, we're not getting it now. My point is we'll get it in the future. And that my discussion point is, when is it coming? Because like, I can't believe GTA 6 is not going to run in it. That's just
whatever.
crazy.
whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
Anyways, not fun talk. What do you have?
I just have one thing this week. Excuse me. Sorry, it's really dusty in here. I'm talking to my microphone. I'm like, man, when's the last time I dusted this thing? I think I need to dust it. It's getting in my
Dust is
throat.
chaos, entropy. It's terrible. I know.
I apologize, folks. So just one thing I wanted to talk about. Well, speaking of PS5s, not the PS5 Pro, but just the PS5 Slim. Actually, I know on the show I've been talking for a couple weeks about getting my wife a PS5 so we could play Helldivers, and I finally got one.
Oh.
I took some of my action figures and collectible toys that I've had. I am a toy collector. I'm a toy guy. If you follow me on Instagram, you obviously know that, and I talk about it here on the show. But I took some of the stuff that I figured I could part with, and I found somebody online who wanted them, and we cut a deal, and I got enough money to get a PlayStation. So I said goodbye to all my old friends and sent them on their way to a new home. And then I got this PS5 Slim from Amazon because it was the best deal. And so it got here, and I was really excited because, the wife and I, hardcore Helldivers players back in the day, Helldivers 1, talked about it many times in the show. We had custom art made. It's like, we almost got tattoos. It was a thing.
Wow. Yeah.
And so we finally got the PS5 in, and it was just like a fucking nightmare to get it set up. And it sounds crazy because usually consoles are just plug and play these days, no big deal. But like, it just so happened that on the day the PS5 arrived, it was the day that there was like this giant, like the Sony global outage that morning, right? So like nothing was working. I don't know. Did you hear about this? Did you know about it?
No, I didn't even. I just slept through it.
So for like 8 or 12 hours, like basically tons of services were down. You couldn't get to the store. You couldn't update your profile. It wouldn't authorize you playing some games. Like it was just like basically every single aspect of Sony's online presence had crashed for like eight or so hours. And that was exactly the morning that the PS5 arrived. And I didn't know the network was down. And so I set it up, no problem. Got the wires all hooked up and I turned it on and it's like, can't connect to anything. And I'm like, what the fuck? I thought maybe like the Amazon guy had dropped it, when he was, delivering it or something. Yeah. And so I struggled with that for a while. It finally took me a while to figure out that it was the network and not us. I'm like, okay, well that's some hope anyway. So then something about it happened though, because when we tried to sign up during the outage, it fucked something up about our account. And I don't know what it was, but like, we have not been able to add a credit card to her account ever. And it's been like at least a week, right? So every time I go add the card so she can buy some games off the store, because the PS5 Slim is digital only. You cannot put discs in it. There's no disc slot unless you get the expandable, whatever. Who's going to do that? No one's going to do that. So she hasn't been able to buy any games. We haven't been able to get anything on there. And so I've been going back and forth. And like every time we try it, it goes, oh, too many failed attempts. Try again. And so I don't know if this is true, but like apparently it seems like Sony has put a 24-hour waiting period on that, which seems insane to me. Like usually when you fuck up too many attempts, like you're logging your bank account or you're trying to do something, it's like, half an hour, maybe an hour, maybe, but but like, I swear to God, like we tried to put it in like, like the day before it didn't work. We waited like a full day or almost a full day and it didn't work. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going crazy. So I still have yet to add a card to her account because it just keeps saying we have done too many attempts, which is crazy. But here's what happened.
Okay. Because I have an answer, but go ahead.
Okay, well, tell me in a second. I was really pissed about this because this was exciting. I sold some of my toys, which I loved, to pay for this thing. It's not working. I'm not having the experience I wanted. This is supposed to be so fucking easy. Modern day technology, 2024. So what happened was I ended up logging into my account on her PlayStation 5. Same living room. She's like 5 feet away. Logged into mine, and it said, do you want to make this your primary game share, the family share account thing? I'm like, yes. So I clicked onto that. And then she was able to download Helldivers on my account and then log into it and play it on her PlayStation while I could still log into my PlayStation and play it on my account. So we only had to buy the game once actually, which is funny because I was fully ready to like buy the deluxe version for her because we're huge fans and we wanted to support Arrowhead, but we ended up not buying it all. And so there is some problems. Like she doesn't have like some of the perks. She didn't get the bonus battle pass. She doesn't have the little arcade game you get in the lobby of the ship or whatever. But like, who cares? I was like, whatever.
That arcade game doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
When?
It's Stratagem Hero. It works if you bought the deluxe version.
Oh my goodness, that's okay. Hold on.
What?
Talking about pay and monetization. I've never been able to play that ever because I bought the normal version. I just thought that it was like a window dressing.
Oh no, you can play it. It's not fun, but you can play it.
So how do I unlock it? Do I have to pay?
I have no idea. I think you have to buy the deluxe version. I don't know if you can unlock it now. You might be too late.
Oh, that's dumb. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. If that's true. Sorry, not to make it about that, but that is fucking
totally
dumb.
fine. I mean, it does work. I've been playing it since day one. It's just like you just put in a bunch of stratagem, up, down, down, left, right, whatever. Just do those for score. I don't think it does anything. You don't unlock anything.
It doesn't sound fun, but at the same time, I don't like the fact that I'm locked out of it because I bought the game. Anyways,
it's just going to be an eyesore reminder that you didn't pay for the
that's
version
really stupid.
So anyway, I ended up not buying the game twice, even though I fully had intended to, and I was just like thoroughly irritated with the whole fucking process. It's just like we tried to call Sony customer service, and they were so busy they wouldn't take our calls. And then I tried to get online to the chat, and it was past business hours, and so we have no after hours chat. And I'm like, what the fuck? I go to Twitter and it's like, yeah, we don't support the Twitter chat, Twitter support anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? I just dropped like $500 on this fucking console and like can't get anybody on the phone for customer service or tech support. The website is bullshit because they're doing stupid ass fucking AI responses to everything that don't help. And so I was just completely frustrated with the whole thing. But anyway, I guess apologies to Airhead for me not giving them my $60, but it's like, we got it now. We're playing now. So I guess win.
Okay, I've been screaming in my head the whole time. I'm screaming, wanting to scream the answer.
Go ahead.
So there's an answer in the very beginning, and I wish you would have just texted me.
What is it?
And I can tell you now, it still will work, and you can still like get her the deluxe version if you want to get off that family share, because that's bullshit. All you have to do, I don't mean to make this sound like I'm being like, you didn't know this?
Well, tell me.
All you have to do is have her log into her PlayStation account onto the computer. That's
Didn't
all
work.
you have to
do. We tried it already. Didn't work.
No.
Yep. Tried it a dozen times. It didn't work.
What didn't work?
She would log in, and when she would try to add the card, it would still say too many attempts. It wouldn't accept her changes. It would not work. Maybe it works now, but it didn't work.
You
then.
should
We tried
try
it a dozen
again.
times.
That's crazy because that's the normal way you edit a credit card. That's the normal way you edit your account name,
and stuff. Yeah. No, we did. We tried a bunch already, but like, I mean. Granted, now that we got the game working, I have no reason to go back to it now until she wants a new game. So I was going to just like forget about it because I was really fucking irritated.
Right, but you definitely need to do that long term because you can't just be. She has to be managing her own account. Like that's
exactly. So
okay, well, try it on the PlayStation because that's what I've done. And just for everybody listening too, if you're ever having issues on your console, on just PlayStation,
just text Carlos.
No, don't do that. You log into your account on your PC or your Mac or whatever. Okay. And then when you get in there, you can download games that way. I don't know. People don't do that much, but you can. And pro tip, okay? Biggest pro tip of the show. Certain games that are about to come out, it's the release window or whatever, and they're not on your console yet, they'll be on the PlayStation. Or they'll be on the browser version.
That is true.
So you can download it literally early on the computer, and then it will go to your console. So anyways, that's what she needs to do in the future.
We'll do that. I just need it to fucking work. We tried literally everything we could do. And, maybe the network issues have resolved by now, but oh my God, it was just so frustrating. And we went I think almost 3 days of like not being able to get to be fixed. Jeez. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm not spending more time on this. So, I mean, yeah, we'll eventually have to get a card in there. She's eventually going to want to play something other than Helldivers, but it was just, man, talk about super bummer first day. Like it's almost as bad as like, your parents get you, or you buy a console or something like, right? And you get home, you want to play the game, and then it's like 9 hours of updates or something, that experience. Or like the famous Christmas morning update experience when parents don't update their console for their kid, and then the kid's all bummed because they can't play the game until New Year's or whatever.
Yeah.
So, same kind of feeling.
This is the last tangent, and then we're going to go right into the show, which we're about on time, is, I wonder, I was talking pre-show to you about issues I have, which is like when I focus on these pains that I have, it makes them worse and they don't go away, or they just kind of were just light and now they're bad because I'm thinking about them. That's a thing I want to stop happening. Now with technology, it is similar in the fact that like every single time something could go wrong, it does.
It does. Yes.
And so both those things I feel like are, like, can they be fixed? Like, can humans get out of their cycles? Because that's what's happening. Like, you're in a cycle like that. I'm in a cycle that's with the pain thing. Can we get out of that? Like, or is that like our signature, like our energy signature? Like, that's Brad, and he'll always have problems with technology, and Carlos will always be sensitive to pain. Is that what this is? Or do we?
It might be. It might be. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it might be different for everybody too. You know, some things I think you can change, and some things might be fated. You know, you don't know. I don't know.
Is there fate? Holy shit. Big discussion. Let's talk about video games instead.
Let's talk about video games. Before we do that, though, before we get to the main portion of the show, a little bit of a tangent. This is usually where I talk about the Patreon, patreon.com/the So Video Games podcast. And I want to just pause for a second. What we've been doing is, you know, asking people to chip into the show. We're not paywalling anything. I'm not going to paywall anything now. But I got an email from somebody who was a listener. I'm not going to say their name out of respect. But they were like, hey, I really love the show and thanks so much for doing it. And I feel really bad because I can't chip in the $5. And so, you know, $5 is a lot of money to some people. I mean, we're in really tough times globally. Work is a problem. I mean, despite everything that Joe Biden says, the economy is in terrible shape right now. So I felt super bad about that. And so I let the person into the Discord because they were a listener and I knew who they were and stuff. But I want to change it up. So if you're a listener of the show and you want to support the show, but you can't afford the $5, and I know, and maybe that sounds crazy to some people, $5, whatever, Starbucks, who cares? $5 is a lot of money to some people. And I was really kind of, I guess moved is maybe the right word by that email. And so if you, forget $5. If you can ship in like $1, that's totally fine too. We'll give you the Discord. And if you can't afford even $1, if you want to just be in the Discord, that's fine too. I feel like I don't want to keep anybody out who wants to be in just for money's sake.
Yeah.
So if you want to support the show, please do. If you can support the show, please do, because there is definitely costs associated with the show. The cost of hosting goes up like all the time. And, we make no money from the podcast. So it's not like we can monetize. You're not getting those like meal prep kit ads in the middle of the show or anything like that. So we're keeping it clean for you guys. But if you do want to support, please do. But if you can't, or if you can only support $1, or if you're just like, it's not in the cards here right now, but you still want to be part of the Discord, just let me know. Email us right now. I'll let you in. I don't care, because it's not about keeping people out. I want this to be a healthy community. I want people to know how much we appreciate them listening. I want it to be a good, positive experience. I don't want this show to be negative in any way, and I don't want people to feel like they're being kept out because of their financial situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you want to be in the chat with us, you should be able to
fuck it.
That's it.
So if you want to be in the Discord, just email us at the email, which we'll give you at the end of the show. And if you want to chip in money, great. If you can, great. And if you can't, no problem. We're still going to do the show anyway. But anyway, thank you to that person who emailed, because I'm sure it was not easy to email and say about their situation that it was tough for them. So I appreciate their honesty and their directness. And I wanted them to feel, like I was responding to that, and that we as a show would respond to that, especially with, me being a poor ass kid growing up. I know you were a poor ass kid growing up. That probably would have felt shitty to me growing up too. And so if we can avoid anybody feeling shitty, let's avoid it. So
100%. Also, two things. One, I am like so behind in rent, so I'm not doing well. Okay. So I can relate.
Yeah.
And secondly, this episode is brought to you by Factor, food delivery at your fingertips. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Support NordVPN. Let's go.
VPNs.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so again, you want into the Discord, just email. If you can chip in, great. If you can't, who cares? Let's just have some fun here. So, all right, moving on to the main portion of the show. Man, Carlos, I'm kicking myself because I was kind of interested in Sandland, and there was a demo. So I was like, oh, nice. I forgot about it for a while, but I downloaded it like yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to play this before the show because I know Carlos is going to talk about it. And then I spaced so hard, forgot that I downloaded it, forgot it existed. I didn't get to it, but you did play the Sandland demo, and I'm very curious as to what you have to say.
Yes, because I texted you a little bit of an idea of what I had about it.
I was shocked and appalled. But
so first off, I'll say, a lot of us are mourning Akira Toriyama, who created the series.
Yeah, Dragon Ball creator.
Dragon Ball and worked on Sandland, and there's an anime and a manga and stuff like that. And I guess everyone's applauding the anime.
Oh, really? Is it good?
Yeah, it's coming out very soon.
It just came out this week. It's out.
Everyone really likes it, and I like the characters and I like him, and I like that style or whatever. So all that's like front loaded to say like that's different. There's a video game, and then also on top of that, it comes down to expectation. When I first saw this, I was like, "Ooh, I love his style." and I like the idea of it being kind of an RPG, but you jump into vehicles and you shoot things. That's what the game is, essentially. Third person jumping in vehicles and shooting things, not action RPG combat, right? Your little guy actually gets in vehicles. And so when I saw the trailer for that and I like his style, I was like, I'm all in. So I was very all in to start. That's a front load, okay?
I'm kind of all in for the same reason. Vehicles,
Yeah.
looking around. I mean, there's been a few attempts at tank RPGs. This is not the first time, but I like the concept. It hasn't really landed with me, so I thought maybe this is the one.
I know there was one that I really liked. I forget what it is. I replayed it on PlayStation. It's like a turn-based one. It's really good. You should know the name of that. I forget the name of that.
I forget what it is. It's from a while ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so I jumped into just the demo because I was excited. And yeah, as you can hear, I'm like setting it up. I didn't like it because when I was running around as a little character, it felt great. Like I was like, you know,
Is this like open world kind of
open
RPG?
world,
What's it
third
like?
person, little character, you know, running around talking to people, has a party with them. And at the demo again, it's just kind of really open world like this. You're in sand, you're in a huge desert area, and you know, it's not really like story bits. It's just like talk a little bit to NPCs, then run around and kill monsters. Essentially, that's what you're doing in the demo. And I don't know how much of the real game is that too, but that would have been fine to me because I actually like, again, action RPGs and open world stuff. But the minute you get in there, when I'm running around and double jumping and attacking, because you can attack and jump.
And this is real time combat?
Real time. You can jump around as your little character and do things. I was like, oh, that's fun. Like, it felt good. It looks great. But then the main game isn't that. Like, you'll get wiped, you know, as a little person just fighting with your fists. You have to jump in vehicles. And so they give you 3 out the gate in the demo. One's a motorcycle. One's kind of like a mech suit, like a Rockman mech suit or something. All the art style, again, is super cool and Toriyama. And then the other one's kind of I forgot what the other one was, another vehicle. But the bike was really fun to drive, and the mech suit guy was not fun and was very slow and supposed to be that kind of laborious kind of, tank.
Yeah, real
Kinda
clunky and slow. Heavy.
Takes a lot of DPS, yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that, and he's like swings his arms and stuff. But what you do is you just run around, and at any point you hit like directional button, can call a vehicle, jump in it, and then you're doing that. But when you do vehicle combat, mainly, you know, minus the mech suit person, you're just like the demo showed, and like a lot of us were kind of worried about, you're driving around a lot in circles, or you're aiming and you're shooting and then you missed them. So you got to turn back around again. So I felt like I was just driving in circles and not hitting my target. And if I could have just been stopped and been my character and kicked the shit out of them, then I would have won. But I just think that my main gripe, and why I was like, I told you, I texted you, I go, it's kind of garbage. Because to me, I don't want to do that as like a long open world game. It felt boring, for one thing, because it's like just an empty desert and some monsters. And it might have been the demo, but whatever. And then most importantly, that moment-to-moment gameplay is not fun to me. Like, even with all the missiles, and there's like all these extra things you can do and multiple ways you can attack with each vehicle, riding the bike was kind of fun, but it felt laborious to reuse that word. Like, and then the last thing I'll say is, the aiming and like the fact that I think you push forward to drive, which I always hate.
Oh, okay.
You know, instead of like right trigger or something. So I just felt like I wasn't in control enough. And then when I jumped in the mech suit, it was kind of better because I was punching and kicking and I knew those moves, but it was so slow. And it felt like old school because like I always go to the edge of the map and try to jump off the world or something. And
yeah,
it was like the thing where like if you go too far, you just restart, you know. And so it felt very basic, and I didn't enjoy the combat.
Interesting. So I haven't tried the demo at all. I guess, is it not possible to just like stop your motorcycle and take a good couple shots at somebody while you're not moving?
You can, but then why are you in the vehicle? You can. I did it.
I mean, I assume that maybe like the vehicle has, I don't know. I mean, I didn't play this. So like maybe your motorcycle has front mounted missiles. Maybe you drive around and then park for a second and then shoot the missiles and then keep going. Like, is that not part of the combat or?
I don't care. Like everything about what it does, it takes a very special game for Carlos specifically that has to vehicle combat is your main thing. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you're just in a car, like NFS Rush or whatever it is, or Carmageddon or something.
Yeah.
And you never get out and you're like, just, that's the game. And it's super fast and you're going fast. That can be fun. Burnout Paradise, I love it. But this is like you get in and out of the vehicles. You can fight on your own later on. Again, this is the demo. Maybe there's whole missions where you're just fighting as your character. But for this, it was like get in vehicle, not have great control, miss a bunch of enemies. Like you said, stop and shoot them. Drive around again. Just saying it.
Man. Well, that's very interesting because you would think that they would realize pretty early on that wasn't working and then maybe solve for that. I have to wonder, I'm totally not discounting your experience at all. I totally believe you, but I have to wonder, like, is it maybe just a bad demo? Is there maybe...
It could be.
Maybe there's more to it, or maybe they didn't show the best side, which has happened. I mean, sometimes a demo comes out, you're like, man, this was a terrible demo, but the final game was much better, or sometimes vice versa. So I don't know. That's kind of disappointing because I still like the idea of vehicle-based RPG, and like I said earlier, I have not found one that has really clicked with me yet. I was hoping this would be the one, but maybe not.
I'm looking at the Sandland gameplay demo video, which is 9 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of stuff that would be fun, which is why I originally liked it, which is I'm seeing the character fight, and that felt really good when I did jump around and swing and kick things. And I'm seeing story bits that looks really fun and interesting. Mm-hmm. But then I'm seeing huge sections of being in vehicles in deserts and upgrading your missiles and sitting still aiming at enemies with your missiles. Like, I don't want to do that kind of gameplay. So, and then, it's that classic thing where, like, when you die, it's like, game over. And you're like, oh,
what?
I don't,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's not do that anymore,
video
folks.
game. Yeah. Let's not ever use the word game over, by the way. It's not the 90s or 80s anymore.
You're not getting a quarter from me every time.
No. So, yeah, I think if I think it might be a bad demo. I'm going to take the positive side and say, I'm seeing the gameplay video and they're showing a lot of him running around just doing punching, kicking stuff. If I can do that and only do that and somehow skip like the vehicles, I think it the art sounds awesome and I just would like to hear what the story has to say. So,
well, I'm not going to cross it off my list yet because I was very interested. And in fact, we were talking about starting to watch Sandland, maybe either today or tomorrow. My son's really interested. And we're actually real big fans of original Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but the first OG Dragon Ball. We are actually huge fans of. So I wouldn't mind doing another Toriyama style kind of thing. Gosh, it's troubling to hear that, but I'm still gonna hold out and wait and see. I may not jump in like on day one, but I'll keep it in my back pocket, and if it drops in a sale or something or whatever, so we'll see. So.
Yeah, check it out later. Definitely do the demo, but I think it's a bad demo. Maybe that's what it is.
All right, there we go. That was Sandland, the demo. All right, moving on to me. I played a little game called Unables. 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 This one came out of nowhere. Just a really small indie publisher sent us some PR and I said, sure, send it over. So they sent us a code. Thank you very much for that. It looked like a real fun, interesting sort of thing. The trailer was pretty good, and it basically shows... How do you even describe this game? It's like, so I guess people are very lazy in this universe. So lazy to the point that they can't even walk. They can't even sit upright or move. They're just like these people-shaped blobs that are laying on the ground, and they're so lazy they can't do anything. And so you... or I don't know, spirit or God or anything, whatever. It's a video game. You see these little small rooms, and then you have to get these people to do their tasks and then get them out the door to finish each level. So in the very first level, the demo level, what you do is right stick controls camera, sort of, and left stick controls movement of the room, kind of. And so you can't move the people, but you can move the room. And the people end up like ragdolling and beanbagging around. So the first one is like, this guy's like, I'm so lazy, I need to get to work and I need your help. And so you end up like tilting the room back and forth and left and right to get the guy to his body to like roll over to the stove where he touches a plate of eggs. And I don't know how you made him. I didn't check that far. And then he like, you tilt it over and he goes to get his jacket. And then you tilt him over to the bathroom to shave. And then you tilt him over. And so it's like, it's kind of like, just imagine like holding a bowl in your hands and you're kind of just like tilting the bowl back and forth. And the dude is just like a BB at the bottom of the bowl, kind of rolling back and forth.
Well, it's like those puzzle games. That's what this looks like. Remember that puzzle game where you roll the ball and...
Yeah, I don't even know what you call those, but yeah, you tilt the puzzle to get the ball to roll a certain way, and
Yeah.
that's exactly. So it's kind of like that. So that looked really fun on the trailer. I'm like, that seems like goofy and weird, and I'm gonna give that a shot. And like within 2 seconds of playing it, I'm like, I actively hate this. Like it's terrible. I think it seems funny on paper, and talking about it seems funny, but the control is just like not there. It when you're rotating the room and moving the room, it's so squirrely. Like it's so sensitive and so overtuned. It's really difficult. It's also hard to see because when you turn the room a certain way, like the bottom of the room obscures the camera and you can't really tell. It's hard to get a good view. And I almost think that like they should have just, not to be like, backseat developer or something, but I guess I will. I just feel like the walls kind of obscure what you can see. And so it's really tough. And with how sketchy the whole thing moves, you're just like, it feels like you're just randomly flailing the room around. Like I was very carefully trying to like, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to slowly get him over here. And it's like, it's almost like you can't. It's like the worst levels of like Super Monkey Ball. If you remember that game, how it's just like so sketchy to move around. And so I got through the first demo level and that was like, okay, not super fun, but I'm going to press on. And then what happens is it's like, you cannot move forward unless you play hard mode. And I'm like, what?
What?
Fuck that. So it ends up that you can't even just play the game for fun because this seems like almost like a digital toy kind of a thing, like where it's just like, it seems like you're going to just goof with it. But then they're like, yeah, you need to play hard mode, get all this stuff done within 60 seconds, earn 3 stars. I'm like, oh my God, like what? You've whiffed this so hard because not only is it really hard to control and see, now I'm on a time limit and like, oh, it was so irritating, dude. Like even you couldn't even get out of the tutorial without earning a star. And I was like, okay, go back and play hard mode. And then I got it, like it only took me 1 try, but then I got to the next level where you're doing these wrestling bros and like, I could not do it. There was one particular thing, like a microphone hanging from the ceiling, like you look at boxing matches, that microphone comes down in the middle of the ring. That thing was there. And I could not for the life of me figure out how to get my guys to bump into it. And then it just was like, everything about it was frustrating. And then to know that I had to do that in like a time limit in order to earn stars and improve my performance, I'm like, this doesn't feel like something that I can improve. It just feels like so random and weird. Like I'm just shaking a bowl and I can't get better at this. It's just irritating, really irritating, but very disappointing because I feel like they are so close to like having something goofy and fun. There's been a few other games like this, where you kind of like are manipulating a person around an environment in a very similar way. And very rarely do they ever put a time limit. It's usually about just having fun and seeing the fun interactions that can happen. I don't think this one has the right idea in mind. And so I bounced off it like very quickly. I was just like zero fun happening here.
It's like that puzzle game with the ball that you try to get, like an actual physical puzzle game that you have with the little ball. But it's also that mixed with Wall-E, because remember Wall-E, the people in that world didn't want to move.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, and they were just kind of slobby,
yes,
whatever. So yeah, it is unfortunate because I like the art style too, but I can see they can patch some of the stuff you said though. I feel like the camera they could patch the movement level.
It's I mean I feel like it's salvageable something. I don't know. I just wasn't really into it. So
all right.
Anyway, kind of a miss for me. All right, let's move on to something else. Let me check the agenda real quick here.
Oh, well, you're checking the agenda. I just remembered TurboGrafx, to go back to that, had a game that you did this exact same thing. And I played the shit out of it. What was it called? Oh, now I'm going to remember. Know. So, but that's how long ago this genre has been done. If you think this is new, no offense.
The lazy person shuffle around genre. Yeah,
well, the move the thing around.
The thing around genre. Yeah.
Move the whole board and the thing moves around.
I'm sure there's a word for that.
I don't know what that game is. I'm going to look it up.
All right, Coolboarders, which is a game I haven't thought about in at least 20 years, if not longer. Again, you never fail to surprise me on our pre-show discussions. I'm like, what? Where did Coolboarders come from? I'm sure most people listening to this podcast probably have never even heard of Coolboarders. Carlos, WTF, man?
Well, PlayStation, because I still have the whatever Plus account.
The Deluxe, Super, Bonus, Ultra?
It's not good, the marketing for PlayStation, because I never know what it's called.
We don't know at all what it's called, and we are fucking video game professionals. Yes.
Yeah, and I don't even know which tier that I have.
It's got to be the top, because I'm on the middle, and I don't have that.
Okay, well, I guess I'm on the top for a little longer. Probably it's going to go away at some point. But They said like, hey, we're going to drop a bunch of new games, and also we're going to drop like 5 old school games. Jackson Daxter was one of them, by the way.
Oh, that's a good game for sure.
Yeah, I don't think, again, a lot of us played those games when they first came out and didn't beat them. So I don't think I beat that. You beat that?
I beat it. Yeah, I beat all of them. All the Jack and Daxters.
All right, calm down.
Including the one on PSP, too.
You're like, I beat all the games I play.
Just a quick side note. Not these days, but back in the day, when before I had children, I was actually known at Game Critics as the guy who beat all the games. So
there you go. Okay.
Yeah, so like I spent a lot of time finishing games. Not only just skill, but also perseverance and patience. And sometimes I beat games that I shouldn't have beat, whatever. But yeah, back in the day, I beat many games, and I had keep a list actually. Maybe I'll publish it at some point where you can see every single game that I've ever rolled credits on, and it's quite a list. But that has changed clearly because life, time, age, family, kids, work, etc.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about beating games, if it's before a certain time period, you probably beat it.
Likely so.
Well, I don't think you beat Coolboarders.
I did not. No.
Coolboarders came out in 1996. It was a PlayStation 1 game, and I have fond memories of it. Now, recently they released Jet Moto, which I also talked about on the show.
About that here on the show, yes.
And it's those games where, like, rose tinted glasses. Like in the past, you remember spending hours and hours with it and having really a lot of fun. And similarly, we talked about this before. Like if it's the only game you have that month or whatever, right? You're gonna play the shit out of it.
Yeah. Then it is both your best game and I guess also your worst game too.
It's all of your game. And so I know I bought this. Yeah, probably full price when it came out on PlayStation. And it is early days of like polygonal third person,
very early,
racing extreme sports games. And so I remember Snowcross, one of my favorites, and there's another one called Snow something. And those snowmobile games were similar. It was like Jet Moto, Snowcross, this game, and it was all the same vibe of like go down a hill, do crazy extreme, stunts. And watch some very, very light early physics happen, right? Like if you like bail and eat shit, which is always the funnest, you might see your guy go flying, or go flying and over the hill. And so that was just kind of fun to see like what was going to happen on this run. So that's why I went back to play it, because the PlayStation's like, hey, yeah, we just released a bunch of them. Here it is, Coolboarders for free, in quotes. It's terrible. It's like fucking terrible. It's
I
like
knew this was coming, dude.
So bad. It's like so bad. And it's crazy to have that, dichotomy, the difference in your head as a person of our age, right? Like we've done this before, and I'd like to pick your brain real quick on maybe think about it while I'm talking of a game that you've, went back to and you're like, wow, I had no idea it was that bad. But this is like, it's bad on so many fronts. One, character customization is like 3 options or something. Male, female, and like 3 different outfits. And then there's the mission, like the main, hill or something. And then there's the next hill. And there's like, it's not like other games in the modern era where like multiple runs on one hill or something like that.
No,
it's just like novice. That's the first hill. Novice, meaning it's going to be easier. The next one's intermediate or whatever, right? So it's going to be harder. I ate shit on the first one.
Yeah.
Like I just kept eating shit on the first one. So like the level design, the customization, none of it's non-existent. Music is terrible because you have to hear it all the time. It's the same track. It's using those 90s kind of like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
Sound effects. And it happens throughout the whole mission. So like you go down the hill and it's like, dude, you missed that one. What's wrong with you? Things that you would see like in Simpsons episodes now,
oh my God.
Yes,
like, yes.
It's real. Like that's a real game. And I was like baffled that that guy was talking so much. He's like, gnarly, dude. And then right after I eat shit and he's like, oh, you shouldn't even be on this hill.
I remember that the shit talking to players back in the 90s was fucking terrible. I hated it.
It's fucking terrible. Much. And so, and it controls bad. Mm-hmm, like Snowcross and Jet Moto control better. Like there's games that do control better. It controls really bad. And you have to hit X button square button to like make a sharp turn. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Anywho, it's garbage. I never ever want to I'm deleting it. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, for sure. I had no I had no illusions whatsoever that would even be worth a damn, because I thought it was rough back then, dude. I mean, we played what we had. Like you said, the game you had was the game you had. But like those early Polygon days when people were just starting to do 3D, just started to do polygons, that was really awful. And like none of that stuff has aged well. Almost none of it is worth playing these days. The controls are bad. We hadn't figured out camera. We hadn't figured out so much of like what we figured out now. And so I have no... It's like when people like are trying to bring back like the original PlayStation polygon graphics these days. Like, oh, it's a vibe. It's like a retro. It's nostalgia. And I'm like, those days were garbage. Like those were really bad days.
And we knew it was garbage during the time it was happening.
But you had nothing else. You had nothing else.
Yeah,
and it was technology moving forward. So you were excited to go with it to see what would happen. And it did get better. But like, man, there was a lot of just really, really awful games back then.
It's funny though. I think when I think of Coolboarders, I think of 1080. And 1080 is, I think, still good. I'd like to go back, but some N64 games aged better. I know they were doing like polygon stuff, but I feel like the shaders they were using or something, or like the frame rate was better. Like Mario Kart, right? Mario Kart 64.
Sure.
Still
There's a few.
fun.
There's a few that are okay, but like they're rough. They're all rough.
I think 1080 is better. Though. I'm going to go back and somehow play 1080.
I'm sure I have no doubt it's better, but better, not like
yeah.
Not like you're going to want to play it, put another 8 hours into it or anything.
But it also makes me think like, why did PlayStation decide to put it back out then? Like, it's a nostalgia piece for sure, but it's not like a fun thing. So I just feel like they have so many options to put things out for free in quotes. Why would they pick this one?
Well, see, okay, so like I think it's great they put it out. I think it's a terrible game. I never want to play it, but I think it's great that it's available because it kind of loops back to our like archival discussion, how we like you got to know where you come from, you got to know your roots to know where you're going, that whole thing. So I think just for like study purposes, you can be like, oh, kids, you want to see something crazy? Look at this. Look at how we didn't figure out camera back then, and look at how we had this grating 90s ass announcer talking shit to you to make you feel bad, and look at all this weird collision and stuff that was happening. You got to like learn that to see what happened back then. So I think just from a educational standpoint, it's good, but like it's crazy to me that they keep that stuff for like the highest tier. Like I don't
right. That
they should give that away to
anybody.
anybody. Yeah, it should be free to everybody. That's garbage, dude. Honestly, nobody wants to play that. And I'm only interested just for like historical purposes. So I imagine a fraction of people give a shit about that. Why are you keeping it for the highest tier? It's so crazy.
Yeah, I think what a great thing would be to do is remember like that the Jeff Minter one and a bunch of these games that are basically like documentaries.
Oh, the retrospectives. Yeah.
That'd be cool to do that as their service, right? So they release a thing that shows Coolboarders the evolution of snowboarding. And then show Coolboarders 2 and 3. They made, I think, 3 games. And then show other like Jet Moto and stuff and make it a package. Don't, you know what I mean? Like individual games start, I'm not going to play this fucking thing. So I think that's what they should do. Secondly, and lastly, I looked at the review scores.
Back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day. Because, by the way, God bless Wikipedia for just existing.
Right? Yeah, I mean, where else are you going to find that
Non-profit? Are they still not? Are they non-profit? They make money to keep the site alive, essentially.
Sure. Like we do here at the podcast.
Yeah. They've just been doing like, oh my goodness, so much great work. But there, you can look at the review scores on Wikipedia, and it's got all the major ones. And so, like I just said, and like we both said, even then we knew it wasn't good.
Yeah.
But it was pushing the envelope, which is cool. Edge Magazine, 6 out of 10. GamePro, 4 out of 5. Wait, GamePro liked a lot back then, though. I feel like they were easy scores. GameSpot, 7.4, 7 out of 10, 62%, and 7 out of 10.
Not top tier. I mean, there was definitely some problems there. So.
Yeah. All right, that's that. Don't play it, but I definitely want a package of old school stuff like a documentary.
Get on it, Sony. All right. Let me talk for a minute about Passing By, a Tailwind Journey.
Wait. Are you playing it on Switch?
I am.
Okay. I thought I'd guess, and I was right.
Because it was a game you hadn't heard of?
No, because it's every game you ever play ever is on the Switch.
Not the next one. I will spoil the next one is not on Switch. And the first one was on PS5 too, by the way. Enables was on PS5.
All right.
So Passing By, a Tailwind Journey, I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh man, I got to play that because the trailer is good. There's a lot of very talented trailer makers out there because a lot of times I see a trailer, I'm like, that trailer is fire. I want to play that game. And then I play the game and I'm like, I'm just going to go watch the trailer again. So Passing By is they call it like a cozy adventure game, and it's about a girl who takes possession of a mail ship. It's like an airship used to deliver mail, and so you see it from a 2D side-on perspective, and you have to manage the ship on your own. So you've got an anchor in the bottom of the boat. You've got sails that you can raise and lower. You've got fuel you need to keep fueled. You've got a telescope that you can look in and out to see where you're going. You've got a couple other things you can do. So there's all this sort of like you're managing the ship all by yourself. And what it ends up feeling a little bit like is like some of these other vehicle management games like Far, Lone Sails.
Oh, yeah.
Or a little bit like Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. Maybe even a little bit like Bomber Crew, perhaps. So those are all great games, by the way. Check those out. So you're in the ship, and that to me is very interesting. I like that whole I'm managing a ship kind of thing. That's just a cool vibe for me. I just think those are so neat. So I'm like, okay, yes, I want to check this out. You end up getting the ship, and then you have to deliver the mail. But in this world, you constantly have a tailwind, as it were, pushing you forward that you cannot fight against, because it's not just an airship, it's like a balloon airship. So you've got some ability to like move yourself around, but basically you're a balloon and you have to kind of go with the flow of the wind. And so it's always pushing you from left to right. You can stop by dropping an anchor on islands, these floating islands in the sky, but you can't like go back and turn around. Like once you pass an island, that's it. It's gone forever. You will never see the island again because you can't stop the wind. So cool idea. I'm down with that. It seems really interesting. The art is really kind of nice. It's like very kind of blocky, almost like paper cut, kind of construction paper-ish, like low polygon, but appealing, cute. I think the vibe is pretty nice. Controls a little bit stiff. I don't think the controls are great in terms of when you get off your ship, you can walk around these little islands and talk to people and look for things. Very minor puzzle solving, which is fine. I mean, you don't really want to be busting your brain on some of these. It's more of like a chill kind of a game. And overall, it's like it starts off okay, but then as the game goes on, I gotta say, it just had this weird quality of like, I just was like not even remotely interested in what was going on. And every time I put it down, I like instantly forgot that I was playing it, and I didn't want to come back to it. So
jeez, those all sound bad.
I mean, it does. And that sounds a little harsher than I mean it, because as I was playing it, it was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. But like, I just didn't get to like the hook. It didn't grab me, I think part of it is, I think the controls are clunky. Not only just walking around when you're on an island out of your ship, those controls do not feel good. They're very stiff. They need to be polished up a little bit. But also when you're in the ship, it's just, I don't think it quite works exactly right. Like when you're in Far Lone Sails, which I think is probably the best of this genre, perhaps. The concept of that game was it was supposed to be a 2-man ship. Your father dies and you have to get someplace, so you're the only person piloting the ship. So there's already like a built-in reason about why it's so difficult to pilot on your own. But like, it was all pretty compact. You could do it all pretty easily. But in this one, there's like a long ladder in the middle of it, which I think kind of kills the vibe, where like there's a lot of stuff in the boat part down below, but then you got to climb this long ladder to get to the balloon part up top, because up there is like the telescope and something of the sails. And then down below is like the anchor and the gas. So you're kind of like, it sounds like a very small complaint, but actually ends up being kind of a big thing, where you're losing a lot of time going up that ladder, up and down. And as you're being pushed forward, sometimes you're getting this like unpleasant tension of like, I want to look at this island because I needed to look in the telescope, but then I got to get back down the ladder. And those few seconds that you're going down the ladder, sometimes it's just like too late. So I think that could have been tightened up a little bit, or maybe they could have changed controls a little bit. I get that it's supposed to be intentionally semi-clunky, but I think it's just like a little bit too clunky. Also, I think the zooming in and out with the telescope is kind of awkward. It doesn't feel like as natural or as good as I think it should. Everything about it just kind of feels like a little bit rough, and it's not quite clicking with me. And so I played a little bit more. I landed on some of these islands, and I did, I solved a couple puzzles here and there, and it's like fine. Like you solve the puzzle, but like nothing happens. Maybe I haven't gotten far enough, or maybe I haven't landed on the right islands. There's a lot of islands where there's like nothing, or just like nothing really worth stopping for. And then when you get to like one of the bigger islands, it's like, oh, our lighthouse is broken. Fix the lighthouse. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll fix your lighthouse. Sure. You jump down, you do a couple puzzles, like real simple stuff, explore the island a little bit. This is all 2D still, side view. And then I fixed the lighthouse, and I'm like, okay, cool. What's my reward? Nothing. They're like, thanks. I'm like, cool.
Oh, cool.
Like, I didn't get anything for that. Like, I've done 2 or 3 of these so far of like the bigger puzzles, and I just don't notice anything worth getting. I don't feel rewarded, and maybe that sounds like, maybe the reward is the friends you made along the way or something. But it's like I kind of would like a little bit more of a something to make it feel worthwhile what I did.
Yeah.
So all that's like, it's not too bad. Like, it was kind of okay. But the thing that really kills this game for me, the thing that really put the nail in the coffin for me, is the survival aspects. You have a hunger meter and a thirst meter, and I'm like,
oh no,
bro,
I'm out.
yep.
I'm out.
And it is ridiculous how quickly those things go down. And in fact, the first time I played this game, I died of thirst because I didn't realize how quickly my thirst meter went down, and I wasn't really thinking about like constantly being on the lookout for water sources. And so as I've been playing this game, that's my number one thing. Where's some water? I got to fill up my water bottle. I need to fill up more water. I'm going to drown. I'm going to die of thirst. I'm going to get parched. And like, talk about sucking the fun out of this game. It's supposed to be like chill, sailing through the skies, solve puzzles, but all I end up doing is panicking because I'm worried about dying of thirst or dying of hunger. And I had to restart that game because I had saved myself in a place where there was no water that I could get to. So that didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Started over. And like literally my first thing every time, is there a spring? Is there a pool? Is there a waterfall? Is there something? Is there water? Water? Like, what? I don't want to worry about that. That's not the vibe of this game, or it's not supposed to be. Constantly on the lookout for apples and bananas and other things that I can pick up because I'm going to be hungry in 5 minutes. And it's it's a drag. It's a drag, and it does not work with the rest of the game. So I was having an okay time, and maybe there's more to come. Maybe there's more things I haven't found yet. I'm not super far into it, but like, oh man, like restarting because I died of thirst, and then just that whole survivability aspect seems completely at odds with the kind of like warm, chill, adventure, the high winds kind of vibe they're going for. And I think they seriously need to either patch that out, or just like the rate at which you become hungry and thirsty needs to slow way the fuck down. It's absurd. It's really absurd.
That can ruin any game, and has for us many times.
Yeah, it has. So that was the nail in the coffin for me, was the survival food and water mechanics, which just feel very out of place for this game. It's very disappointing. So.
But the art style is cool, and I do miss, like, I still feel like I'm always looking for a game like, what was it called? Far
Lone Sails.
Yeah. And I'm looking for those games where it is kind of like a cozy simulator, and you're like seeing things 2D and like almost like a little sim kind of feel.
It's neat. I'm down for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I still want to find games like that. So take those meters out for one thing.
Yeah. So it's salvageable. I think they could salvage it, right? Like, get rid of the hunger and thirst, maybe throw in a couple more happy feeling items, or just fireworks or something. It just can't feel like nothing when you do something. So it's kind of a bad feeling. So anyway, passing by a Tailwind journey. It's cute. I might play it a little bit more to see if something happens, but I think it just needs a little bit more focus perhaps. So anyway, so there's that one. Carlos,
yes,
over to you for something I'm actually very excited to hear about. Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, an old PC game, finally making its way to console. I've been curious about this one forever, but I have never convinced myself to play it on PC. But now I don't have to. It's on PlayStation, but I got to know, how's that port? Is it even fun anymore? What is even going on with this game? Why did it get here? Who knows? But tell us about Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl.
Yeah, well, first off, I think it's an Xbox 2. I believe the Xbox One is like a collection.
Oh, is it? Okay.
PlayStation made it like 3 individual
individuals.
games.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So it's re-released for consoles. I'm guessing it's not on Switch. Maybe it is. We should check.
I haven't checked, but
I'm pretty sure it's a collection though on Xbox, and then it's which I would actually probably have purchased on PlayStation. And on PlayStation, it's like $20 a pop, and so each one is an individual game.
Gotcha.
They're re-releasing it because obviously they've been working on the second game for a long time. And with the war situation over there, it's been really difficult.
Yeah.
I don't want to make
it's not really the second game, is it? It's like the 4th or 5th, isn't it, in the whole series?
Yeah. It'd be the 4th game, but like it's going to be called Stalker 2.
Stalker 2,
yeah. So these are 3 games that are out, and you can play them in order. So the very first one is the Chernobyl one. That's the one I played. So I thought I'd go to that first and check it out. Yeah, I would say that because it's on modern consoles, the frame rate was awesome. It was
okay. Good, nice.
They did a good port with that. I feel like it was 60. I mean, it felt smooth as shit, you know?
Okay.
I wanted for nothing when it came to frame rate.
Okay, excellent. Good.
So that's a good start. I remember playing it back in the day when it first came out, I think the first one on PC, and being like, it's too hard, right? Because that was one of the big things. It's like, I don't want to say it, but the Dark Souls of first person, Fallout
And
games.
it was Dark Souls before Dark Souls, wasn't it? Was it before Dark Souls? I got to look this up.
Look it up on the
look it
Wikipedia. We love Wikipedia. And so, yeah, I was like kind of nervous that it's like difficult. There are difficulty options. So I, of course, just picked the easiest. But they said even on easy, it's difficult because they want you to have that feel. Like the developers don't want to make this post-apocalyptic world easy. So what is this game? It's a first-person Fallout game. So if everybody listening knows Fallout.
It is. It's before. Stalker was 2007, Dark Souls 2011, and I think Demon Souls was like 2009.
There you go.
It predates even Demon Souls.
It's the original Dark Souls, but it's first person, and it's Fallout. So yeah, it's about like, this zone outside of Chernobyl where there was this obviously terrible disaster. And, that has affected the world. So just think like smaller version of Fallout, the game Fallout, okay? That's what this game is. But it's also just more grimy and simple, and the fact of like, it's just about, vagabonds and nomads trying to live out their life in this like, pretty tough environment. And similar to Fallout, like everybody's out to get each other, right? Like you don't know if you can trust people. And in the very beginning, you kind of like get some quests from a quest giver, and it's simple things like go out and, work with the few militia that we have here and retrieve something, and don't die. And then you do that and you're upgrading yourself a little bit, but it really is more about a survival game. There's some meters, but I didn't seem to be bothered by them a lot, like health and stuff like that and food. And I don't know if it's food. It was something to keep me alive. And I wasn't worried about it too much in the early
Anti-radiation medicine, maybe?
Probably that, yeah. Vodka works for that, by the way.
Nice.
In this game.
Nice.
You just drink a lot of vodka and you're fine. So yeah, it was just really fun to me because I hadn't been back for a while. This is a whole other tangent, but like I guess I'm better at games than when I first played it.
I'm sure you are.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't hate saying better because I hate get good, but I just understand systems more and, my eye-hand coordination or whatever. But it just felt like there was difficult parts, even on easy. They do want you to feel like this is a fucking tough world to be in,
Yeah, certainly.
And the shooting isn't great. Like, I bet you Stalker 2 is going to have like amazing shooting, but this was like early, first person shooting, and it's like not awesome. Like I should have hit somebody that I aimed at.
Is that part of it though? Because I thought part of it was like you've got shitty guns and broken down guns and bad equipment. I mean, is it just like early development, or is it intentionally?
It
like
could
bad
be, but
shooting?
it doesn't matter. You and I both know that. Like if you get into that and it's not fun, and it doesn't matter what your intention was, right? So I would say that it's still parts of it aren't fun. Like because I was like, no, I shot that person. It doesn't matter that I was like difficult to aim. That's a thing, or my gun is kind of does not much damage. But I think they could have developed it differently because it's not super fun. But then I picked up a machine gun. I picked up different things, and it was easier. But the short version is this: like I've only put it on the back burner because I'm playing Dragon's Dogma 2, and it's like taking over my life. But it's a different thing too. Like I could play them together because it a different vibe. It's Fallout, first person Fallout. It's really good still. Like I really have here with the good news to say that I think people should go back and experience it. Also for that thing we talked about with Time Capsule, right? Like this is early first person Fallout games.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job with the port, at least for the first one, that frame rate is buttery smooth, and that helps. And the graphics are sparse and it's not great. It's old school, but it has a feel. It really has a good vibe. I'm so excited for their next game whenever it does come out. And yeah, I'm just glad I went back. And I think that I'll pace myself, but what fun that there's 2 more games already. It's just sitting there.
This is very exciting. I'm actually really glad to hear you say all this because this is a game that has been long on my list of like, I've been aware of it and it seems like maybe I should play it, but I couldn't get over that PC aversion that I have, And,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've been thinking about this one for a long time, heard about it a million times. It's often referenced by many, many people. So now that it's available on consoles, now you're saying like it even runs smooth and everything. Oh man, oh dude, I'm very tempted by this, but I've got so much on my plate right now. I don't have any time to play it, but I may, after the show, I may go look and see what's a better deal, buying all three on PlayStation or getting the bundle on Xbox. It's probably 60 for the bundle Xbox, 20 a piece on PlayStation probably, but we'll see. But yeah, this is very thrilling. I'm genuinely excited for this.
You should be, and again, you can take it whenever you want to take it. You don't have to do it now. It's like that trilogy will be there, and it's kind of a complete thing. Although I think the second game is a prequel, and then the third game's like the actual second game, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but there's some tough things that developers are going through right now. I'll just keep it at that.
In real life, you mean?
Yeah, in real life. There's a game show, but my heart's, prayers, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely,
goes out to them
for sure.
They're fucking dealing with so much stuff and difficulty with the war. So I just hope they, can be okay and get the job done. The job done and also the game done.
Yeah,
but
everyone over there for sure.
But yeah, that game, I'm so excited for it. And if I can throw any sort of like support for their, studio, I would say go check out these trilogy right now, because not only is it a time capsule, but it's fun. And it's got that grittiness. This is my final thought. It's got that grittiness of like original Fallout, where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I got just enough ammo. I got just enough things. There's only 6 people, like, bad guys in this area, but I might die.
Yeah. No, that's a cool vibe though, dude.
It is cool vibe.
We get so used to throwing 1,000 bad guys at somebody and plowing through them, and we're great because this is video games. But like when you scale it down and get really granular about how tough something might be, and I notice a lot of games from Eastern Europe really do kind of go for that vibe. Like in real life, if 3 people were coming at you, like that would be very scary. That would be very dangerous. But we think 3 people against a video game character, whatever, I can kill 300, no big deal. But if you were to really up the stakes, I mean, even killing 1 or 2 people in real life, not like I'm speaking from experience or anything, but like I can imagine that would be a much different situation. And to capture that gritty feeling, that on the edge feeling of like, oh damn, this is going to be a tough encounter, even though it's only 2 guys, but I've only got like 3 bullets and they've got 1 gun apiece, and how's this going to go? That's a very rare thing in video games where you feel that actual danger.
What's funny is that I think in my head, I think that there's a lot of games like that, and there isn't.
No, there's not many like that. No.
Because I think of like maybe Walking Dead, a couple like Walking Dead games where you feel like, and choices and stuff, and but yeah, and like you said, Eastern European RPGs and stuff, and post-apocalyptic games. A couple of like the ones that are zombie games kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, few and far between, actually, especially first person, I think.
Oh, exactly. But think about it. So that feeling that we're talking about, that gritty, like on your, edge of your teeth survival thing, I think a part of that, not the whole thing, but a part of that is actually what's captured in at least the early Dark Souls games, because, like you go up against any random fucking skeleton in a Dark Souls game, they could kill you. Like there's any enemy can kill you. And so that feeling of like, you got to take every encounter seriously. Of course, it's not quite the same thing, but I think that quality to it is, I think, what probably draws a lot of people to the Souls games, where you have to really think about things and be careful. I think maybe that's kind of what's being echoed here in Stalker.
Yeah, exactly. Just talking about it makes me want to go back to it, even though I'm like,
I mean, I want to go play it right now, and I have
I
have no time to play it right now. There's literally no time on my schedule to play this, and you've got me really wanting to play it.
Well, I'll even get you to play it more, because this is also a perfect game of just go in for like 15 minutes. So I'm going to get you to play it because...
Wait. What's the saving like?
Oh, how am I saving? Let me think. Am I just saving all the time?
That's going to be a big deal. Is it like autosave? Is it save points? Is it save items? Like, what are you doing?
I can't remember. I feel like it's old school and difficult, but I also don't think I didn't lose any progress. Oh, no, because remember, I was fighting this camp where there was 6 people, and I was losing a lot. So it must not have been difficult, because I was just going back to it.
You're not mad about it. You haven't said anything about it, so it must be okay.
Yeah, it must be okay. There's a lot of old school things. Modern conveniences aren't there, but it makes it fun. My point is, I went in for like one mission and was in there for like 20 minutes, and then it just was like, okay, I'm done for now. Yeah. So that's why it is good for that. It's not like you have to lose your whole world to it.
Oh, so tempted, dude. Oh my God. You have no idea how tempted I am right now. Oh, so tempted. Okay. All right. That is Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. I feel like I want to check that off my bucket list, but not today. Okay. We'll talk about it again. I'm sure we will. Okay. Let me talk for a minute about Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate Daemonhunters.
Another Warhammer game.
Yes,
There's not
I love
enough
40K.
of them.
I love 40K. You know that I do. I'm a big 40K fan. But only the video games. The tabletop is like a lifestyle, and I have not committed to that lifestyle. Can't even talk. Cannot commit to that lifestyle. I will not commit to that lifestyle. That's just not for me. But video game I can do, and I love a lot of the 40K games. I just talked about Rogue Trader. Still playing it. Rogue Trader, fucking amazing. One of the best 40K games ever. And it's followed by this one, which is also really fucking good. I'm shocked.
All right.
I'm shocked because the person who owns the IP, Games Workshop, they're really loosey-goosey with their IP. They'll let anybody make a 40K game as long as you got the money for the license.
Oh, I know. I'm making one too. So
You're in the middle of yours, right? Which wouldn't surprise me at all, dude.
My follow-up to Carlos in Liminal Space, which is available now in Itch.io.
Carlos in 40K.
Is Carlos in 40K, exactly.
Yeah. So because of that, half of the games that come out are usually crap, like honestly. But there have been some real bangers lately, and this one is another really good one, and I'm so pleased and surprised. What is it? As opposed to Rogue Trader, which was like a PC RPG style, this is the traditional turn-based tactics style. And I'm going to just be really frank and say it's very much like XCOM 2. So if you're going to borrow from the best, and XCOM 2 is the best. So I think they were very smart to take a lot of cues from XCOM 2. They took all the right lessons from it, which I think really works. This is actually really interesting. So you play the game, and the people in this game talk to you as if you are in there with them. They look at you like, hey, so-and-so commander, and they talk to you like you're there. It's weird.
Wait, you're like at the player?
Yeah, like you, the player, they're like, hey, we got to take some action on this. What do you want to do? And they talk to you like you're like you're in the game. I don't know about that. I don't know if that works for me or not. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not a huge thing. It kind of like threw me for a loop when I realized they were talking like to me.
Yeah.
That's strange. Anyway, so you take control of a group of gray knights. Now, this is an actual Warhammer 40K faction, like from the board game, the tabletop game. This is a real group. These are like some super, super elite badasses who are, not only are they like the Space Marine type armor guys, but they also have psychic powers. And in Warhammer 40K, psychic powers are great, but they also often lead you to the dark side. But these guys, apparently, according to the 40K wiki, in 10,000 years have never lost a single guy to the dark side. So these guys know what they're doing. They got it on lockdown. So they're knights, they've got psychic powers, and their whole thing is going after demons that come out of the warp. And the warp is not only is it warp that they use to travel from place to place with spaceships, but bad shit lives in the warp. And so by going to the warp, you're constantly tempting fate because there's all sorts of nastiness in there, and it comes out sometimes, and they got the whole 40K fight demons kind of thing. So anyway, you're in charge of these gray knights, and you're in this solar system where the demons are popping up. You get a map which shows all the planets in the solar system, and you can fly back and forth between them on your ship. I believe there will be ship combat, but I haven't hit it yet. I've been playing for a while, but I still feel like I'm still pretty early, if that makes sense. I feel like there's a lot more to come. So I believe that you will upgrade your ship eventually and get like cannons. You probably will do some space combat, but I haven't done it yet. You can upgrade change the gear, customize your guys, give them different heads, and, make them all look like XCOM 2, where you can customize your characters. So that's kind of neat and fun. And then you fly to these different missions, go down, beam your guys down, and then you do turn-based tactics on the ground, usually going with a squad of 4. So far, there are 4 different types of knights, and then you can, kit them out a little bit. They all have like slightly different powers. Skill tree for everybody. You kill some bad guys, do a mission, come back, and then you kind of repeat. When you're on the ship, your ship, when you begin, has taken a lot of damage. You just got out of a big battle, so you have to repair like the guns, repair the engine, repair the barracks, repair all this other stuff. And then you're also doing research. So you catch some of the bad guys, you dissect them, you're researching some of their innards to like make better weapons and make better defenses. This is all very, very similar to XCOM 2 again. You do all the same stuff in XCOM 2, which is fine. I think it's a really good structure. I think it's fun. It's been a while since I played XCOM 2, so it's not like I'm burned out on it. So I'm fine to go back to that. It all works really well. I think the graphics on it are pretty solid. I think the levels are like a little bit busy, and I wish that there was a slightly different camera control. You have like the 4 isometric directions, and I want to just like freely turn it a little bit, but it's either, north, south, east, west, which is fine. But, I kind of want to be like, I'd like to have my camera southeast to get a better view, or northwest or something. But you can't fine tune it like that, which is kind of a bummer. But that all works well. It all works like you think it would. There are no surprises, but also that's kind of a good thing because it does what you want it to do, which I'm happy about. I will say also this game really leans into the story aspect, and I think that really saves it. I think that really kind of like cements it as an experience that's kind of its own, because you spend a lot of time talking to the other people on your ship. You've got one of the techno guys who's like covered in tentacles and all his body parts have been replaced by metal. You've got the old veteran who's like in a big suit of armor. You've got the Inquisitor lady who's like, she's got her own agenda. You don't know what she's doing. And so you spend a lot of time like just talking to them. And I think they're all really well-written characters. It's interesting to have these chats, and they all have very different personalities. And so you really do get a sense of like being in this system on this mission with your broken down ship, and no one is around to give you guys help. So you've got to really pull it together and like get this stuff done. So the story is very effective. I think that's one place where it really outstrips XCOM 2 because they have real characters and like, you know, emotional stakes and stuff, which
goes a long way.
Yeah, it does go a long way. It really does. So I think this game is great overall. I think it's a really super solid turn-based tactics game. I think it's a great use of the 40K license. I like the story. I like the structure. As I said, very similar to XCOM 2, but XCOM 2 is like amazing. So I think that's a good structure to take. My only concern, and this is not a confirmed concern, my only concern so far is that I am a little bit worried that there's not going to be enough variety, because you do stick with the Grey Knights faction, which are cool. They're badasses and stuff, but like there's so far like no vehicles. There's no tanks. There's no giant mech suits. There's no long cannons. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you generally get in a 40K tactics game does not seem to be here because they are focusing on this little squad of guys. And that's cool, but I do have to wonder like how many other classes might be on the way. Like how different can it feel? I'm still unlocking stuff. I'm still going through the ranks. I'm still pretty early on. So I don't know for a fact that repetition will be a problem, but I am a little bit concerned that if you only get these guys and they don't evolve enough, it might start to feel stale after a while. So I do think new units, new tactics, new weapons is an important part of keeping something fresh. And that's something we saw in XCOM 2. Like you were unlocking like subclasses, or you'd get new armor that changed how you controlled on the battlefield, new weapons, new aliens would show up, and that was all fun and good. So I'm hoping that they do that here as well. They very well could. There hasn't been a ton of variety so far, but like I said, I do feel like even though I've been playing for a while, it still feels like early days. So we shall see. But so far, really good shit. If you were a 40K fan, boy, you are in luck this year, man. There's just been like hit after hit on the 40K front, which is very unusual, but I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, we're so different at times. We're so similar and different when it comes to like games we like. Because XCOM, you know, I could take or leave, and it's like, you know, yummy to you, I think.
I love XCOM, yeah.
And then XCOM with 40K and like the things you're describing, like
chocolate and peanut butter, brother.
Yeah, but you're like putting, you know, like resource stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do any of that. But for people who like that, yeah, it seems like a perfect combo. So chocolate and peanut butter, 40K XCOM.
Yes, so that is Warhammer 40K, Chaos Gate, Daemonhunters. If you like 40K, it's kind of a must play. It's really good stuff for sure.
Check it out.
Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. Last game of the show, also the biggest game of the show, also the game that everybody's talking about, which is funny because before it came out, people were scared. People were nervous. It's interesting. We're talking about Dragon's Dogma 2, of course. Before this dropped, people were saying they hadn't heard a lot of pre-release buzz, and usually that's a bad sign. You know, there hasn't been a ton of codes out there, although we at Game Critics did get a code. Darren Foreman will be covering it for us. He just finished his review, and it sounds like he kind of loves it. But people were worried, and it's been enough time gone by, like at least 10 years or so, I think, since number one, that a lot of people have literally no experience with the first Dragon's Dogma at all. And so it was kind of this unknown quantity. And then all of a sudden, reviews drop, and it's like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, game of the year, game of the year. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, I was a fan of the first one. I'm very excited, pulling for it for sure. But even me, I was not expecting this response. And so, dude, I am ready and willing to hear what you have to say about this game, and it sounds like it's going to be good.
Well, and for some further explanation, it wasn't all just 10s. That's the thing. This game has become very similar to some other big releases this year of being divisive, because there's a lot of 6s and 5s. And
really? Okay.
Because people, the two things we'll get out of the way. I got rid of one of them in the beginning, which is monetization. that
Yes.
made people knock down their score because they're like, don't put these pay to win a single player,
That feels kind of silly to me.
Feels kind of silly to knock down the score. The second one, though, is the frame rate, which we are all concerned with because they told us in the beginning, the developers said, we're going to make it uncapped because we're going to like hope that we can get higher frame rates sometimes, and sometimes you're going to get lower.
Oh, I didn't realize they had made statements about that.
They made statements, yeah. So that actually got people worried, and then that's another reason why people are tanking scores because they're like, well, this is kind of, a broken state or whatever. I have a lot of things to say to that. But those are the two main things that did bring down a ton of scores. So there's a bunch of really good scores. There's a bunch of not awesome scores. And it's that divisiveness is around the monetization and the performance, okay?
Okay.
The actual game itself, I think a lot of people and almost all the YouTubers that I watch too can say that it's a fun-ass time. Like, no shit. Like, Dragon's Dogma was a fun-ass time, and that's what this is. So, TLDR... it's Dragon's Dogma again, right? That is like the easiest version of TLDR. But
and if you like it, that's an easy sale for sure.
It is an easy sale. So I mean, you're gonna like it, by the way. So that just
I have no doubt. Yes,
you'll love it, right? But there's a couple of things that are like worse and better, and so that's what I'll get to. Dragon's Dogma, if you didn't know, the first game, by the way, is available everywhere. You can just go back and play it. I actually strongly recommend no one go back and play the original because my other TLDR is Dragon's Dogma 2 is the way they wanted to make the first game.
Gotcha. This is the realization.
This is the realization of the actual game Dragon's Dogma. They should just call it Dragon's Dogma because, and the developer said as much. They said, we were limited by what we could do back then. And remember, for the show, I went back and played the original before, a while ago.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I did. And I had frustrations. And I was like, I was totally loving it in the beginning, and then all these things came up, and I didn't like it, right? Well, that's what this game is. It's all those things that I wanted to be in the first game are in this game. Or the kind of like weird things that the pawns do, now they do it better. Okay. So it's just like the upgraded version of Dragon's Dogma.
Just like kind of like a redo. We kept the good stuff, polished it up. This is what we had in mind back in the day. We couldn't do it, but now we're doing it.
Yeah, and I think that the nature that kind of leads itself back to the original problem of, frame rate is the other thing they're doing is they're stacking every single NPC with, iterations, stories, ideas, like old school Ultima, which I will get to as well. Ultima had all these NPCs that had their own little job systems and lives. And games sometimes do it, but, this is a massive open world RPG. So many of the NPCs, I think all of them, have their own things, including they're running these little programs that say if you go up to the character and their physical approximation of it, it might change what they do. Like I went to a shopkeeper and I pulled out my weapon and just because I was like checking out my stance or something, but I was close to him and he thought I wanted to fight him.
Oh, so he reacted to like how you were approaching him.
How I was approaching him, and I was too close, and I had my sword out. And he's like, "Oh man, today's gonna be a bad day," and I'm like, "No, we're not fighting." So because of that, if you're following along, this is a long tangent. The frame rate will dip because it's trying to do a lot of things, and that's exciting to me. Obviously, if you listen to this podcast, Carlos wants this in a game, right?
Yes.
I want a million systems, all of them going. I want the real world in a video game. And so that's why I'm not mad at it at all. I don't even care if it goes down to 10, motherfuckers. If it's dropping to 10, it's because it's doing crazy shit. Now, will they optimize it? Yes, and that'll be great. But it's not always 10 frames. It's every once in a while, it drops really low. Sometimes it is moved close to the 50s for me, like it's been in that range. I'm playing on PS5. And then lots of times it's close to 30 and it's not, bothering me.
Yes.
But I would say that that's the reason why. It's because it's doing tons of stuff with NPCs. Here's a funny last tangent on the NPC thing. There's a Reddit thread somewhere going around saying that they're trying to find and list all the NPCs that aren't really have a lot of cool storylines.
That don't have storylines?
That don't have a lot of storylines so that we can list them and we can just kill all of them.
What?
Because if we kill all of them,
it'll make the frame rate better?
The frame rate will get better.
Oh, that's funny.
And that's actually true because it's trying to process NPCs.
I mean, that's funny. That's
funny.
Also clever, but also I have to imagine that if this game is sensitive enough that you approaching a shopkeeper with a sword puts him off, you probably have some kind of penalty for killing people at random, don't you?
You probably do. That's you shouldn't do that thing. But I thought it was very funny.
That's
going around. So what is the game again? It's Dragon's Dogma. It's an action RPG, third person. There is the class system. There isn't tons of new vocations. I think that the marketing showed like a lot of them, but to me, I think there's only maybe a few more, Trickster and some other ones. But yeah, I always like fighter or warrior. Warrior is the kind of slower, tankier version. And only 4 are available in the beginning. You get a pawn, just like in the original game. You can obviously create all those characters. We talked about it before, but I made a basically 1-to-1 version of me, Carlos, in the game. It looks very much like me.
It does look like you.
Yeah. And then the pawn, I made some woman that I don't know, I just worked on someone who I thought I might like as a companion. And so put her in the game. And then, this game is all about, just like the first one, picking up new pawns, which are the kind of, people you can hire. And you're always picking up other pawns that other people made. We talked about this before. Like other players in the game are making pawns. They send them out, and then they go out and help you. You can find them and recruit them.
Yes.
And they cost a certain amount of credits to get them. Some are 0 in the beginning. That you can just recruit a bunch for free. But later on, if you want to get higher level ones, you need to spend some money. So the point is, and this is the thing that I didn't like in the beginning, the first game, you outgrow your pawns that you hire because they don't go up in levels.
Yeah, they kind of stay where they're. I mean, that sounds very similar to the system of the first game. So you have to kind of cycle through them.
You cycle through them, which I'm not a big fan of because I like having a party, D&D, a companion party. So you can go the whole game with just the one you made, and my companion levels up with me, or she levels up.
Your personal one.
My personal one, yeah. So those ones are always leveling, and then you are, I'm just kind of jumping in and finding some. Recently, I just put up a TikTok of I grabbed, just a random one, like an archer, and we went out on a mission, and I found some armor that I thought was better because it had better stats, and I put it on her, and it took away her pants, and it made her just have underwear on, and it was better stats, and I said in that video, I thought it'd be crazy because the player's going to get that character back. And is the character going to have no pants? Like the palm really when it comes back?
Oh, so like if you make changes is that what happens? If somebody borrows your pawn.
I think a screen came up and I just, I just hit button mashing. I think the screen said do you want to exchange the armor that they did have with this armor? And I was like, yeah, it's better stats. So I'm just afraid that person's going to be like, what was this guy doing?
Oh, that's funny. I wonder if that's what happened. That would be really funny if they came back and they're like, look what Carlos did to me.
Yeah, and literally my name, because my username is like Carlos or something.
Oh, is it attached to it too? Oh, that's funny.
I think it is. I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. So anyways, this has that system where your asynchronous multiplayer stuff is happening. And I think they do it the best version they've ever done it. It's the best version of Dragon's Dogma. But the number one thing I want to talk about with this game, okay, and I could talk about this for a while, and I will on another show. I think I've iterated and at least explained what it is. It's Dragon's Dogma, the definitive edition, okay? That's what this game is. Action RPG, go out and kill things, missions, stories. There's a main campaign, but like the original game, and is a kind of, for some people, not for some others, it doesn't hold your hand, right? Sometimes the pawns will know where to go, and you can ask them. Or they'll say, hey, go over here, because I know where this is. But lots of times you're kind of just figuring it out. Their main campaign had 3 main missions in the beginning, and then it was okay, go ahead and do stuff. We're
pretty open,
yeah.
And you kind of, that's kind of the gist that I guess maybe people don't understand, or maybe I don't know how much the developers have talked about this. Just as background, I've been kind of on media blackout on this one because I'm excited. So I don't know what they've said or haven't said. So I'm kind of behind the curve on what the word is. But in the original one, the whole point of this game was adventure, and the actual adventure of plan your trip, get your supplies ready, go from point A to point B. Making that trip is part of the game. So that's why there wasn't so much fast travel, because you find things along the way. You find encounters. You have to figure out how to get past this like terrain and stuff. And so playing it that way is part of the experience. And I think a lot of people didn't get that. They were just like, I just want to fast travel and do a quest, but that's not really what they're going for.
And that's the biggest thing that I like about in this definitive edition. Because like I've given into that. You know what I mean? Because all the systems are better. Here's the thing. The map in the first one wasn't good. So you have the open-endedness and you don't know where to go, then you're just going in circles. But what they did in this one, the definitive edition, they'll put a little yellow circle on the map. And they'll go, it's probably there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's fine. Now we're having fun. Because now I'm giving into the, like you said, the exploratory nature of it. Go out and do stuff, find things along the way. But this is generally the area that you should be in. Right. I was in these mines, and it said go to the mines. The mines was a huge maze. You know, it didn't say where to go in there, but I figured it out. You know,
yeah, but at least you're in the right ballpark, right?
Yeah, I was in a huge area, and all of a sudden these goblins and people came over to me and talked to me and said, "Hey, thank you for helping us. You just finished the mission," and it felt close to D&D. You know, that's what this game does. That's my other TLDR. It's D&D. It
so
feels
you're
like
adventuring.
that.
You're not just playing a game, but you're kind of adventuring.
You're adventuring, man. It's so fun and is wildly addictive. Because again, it's the best version. It's up on my PlayStation right now. It's like waiting for me to hit start again. And yeah, there's a couple issues with it, and there's another issue. I'll say it, the only con at the end. But it feels real good. It feels real good. It's at nighttime. You turn your lantern on. You know you shouldn't go out at night because it's actually more enemies and spirits like ghosts are out there at night. And you stumble upon emergent gameplay happens. Recently, I was in town just thinking everything was fine. And I heard a roar. And I went around the corner. And there was a huge, 10-foot, 20-foot goblin creature. Troll. I don't know what it was. But it was massive.
Yeah.
And he was just in town. And everyone was like, fuck, everybody hit it. And like just townspeople were hitting it. And
so he was like attacking the village on his, this
own.
sounds like it was just kind of like that emergent kind of thing. Maybe was this troll, like he had his own like little AI routine of where he's going to just like be in the woods and attack a town. And you just happen to be there.
The developer, I know what they did behind the scenes. They probably put it always near the town, you know?
Sure.
So there's a chance that it can come in. But there's a chance because it wasn't in the whole time, you know.
Right.
But then we fell that beast, you know. It's that thing where you can jump on certain huge monsters, like what's it, Monster Hunter and stuff like that. So I jumped on top of it and I was stabbing in the neck with my sword, and we all beat it, and it fell to the ground, and everybody in town cheered.
That's awesome.
And it was fucking awesome. And I'm like, this is the best game in the world. The other great little thing that I will never get tired of, that you're going to love, any companion you have with you, after you beat any monster or anything, they'll high five you.
Nice.
And sometimes they'll put their hand out, like my character would do it, put their hand out, and I didn't see it. Mm-hmm. And I go up after, like the high five is no longer available, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They'll like just kind of nudge you. Like, oh, okay, you missed my high five, but good job.
Don't leave me hanging, buddy.
Don't leave me hanging next time. Yeah. It's endlessly fun.
That sounds really fun. That sounds really great.
Yeah, dude. I'm just telling you, everything about it's just a relaxing, fun experience. And it is that kind of thing where like you might be fucked. Like if you go out at night and you don't have enough things, back to the gritty kind of gameplay, you might be screwed.
Don't travel at night, dude. I never traveled at night in Dragon's Dogma. Fuck no.
But here's the thing. I had some of my most memorable experiences at night recently.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're just doing it better. Maybe the balancing or something like that. It's not as hard. It's hard, but it's not as hard. We were out in the middle of the woods. We heard a huge monster. We ran from that. But then we fought some spirits and beat it, and it gave us this really cool coin that I, needed. And then we made it to town that night, and we slept, and we watched the sunrise. I mean, it was fucking cool. I could talk about it forever. Yeah.
Question. So again, I have not been reading up on this game because I've been excited and I wanted to kind of go into it cold. Is there multiplayer in this, or is it only the pawn system?
It's the pawn system. Yeah, it's asynchronous.
Just the pawn system. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And then the con that I mentioned earlier is another thing that people are docking it down score points for is that it's one save file, which is weird. Mm-hmm. I think it's again because what they're doing, and they don't want you to like try to load the game with like 5 characters or something. I don't know. They're using a lot of memory. That's a weird way to say it, but you can only have one save. You can only save over top of that save. So there's no multiple saves. On top of that, you can save in the inn, and that's a second save.
Okay.
So that gives you 2 essentially. So anytime you go to a town, if you have the credits, you should save at the inn. So then if you're out in the wilderness and you get fucked and you didn't save it or whatever, you can always go back to the...
Well, see, that makes kind of a sense. And I think that kind of goes back hand in hand with what they were going for. And again, I remember this from the original Dragon's Dogma. I think it was a similar system where, like, if you made it to town, that was like, okay, this is my base save. I can back up if something bad happens. But like when you're out in the wild, like that's kind of, they kind of make you commit to it, right? Like you have more stakes. It's not like you can just reload to 5 minutes before you met the troll. It's like, oh, we got rocked by this troll and we lost all our shit. And so now we're stuck. And the last save is like 40 minutes ago at the inn. I don't want to lose all, I don't want to go back that far. So I think it probably is their way of increasing the stakes and making you really commit to the idea that you are adventuring out there and that you can't just easily, undo what happened. Like, I think that's just to reinforce the whole adventure aspect.
Well,
of
yeah,
it.
and the believability of the world building. Because like another one is something that you wouldn't find in any game, which is I just had to do this mission where I was trailing this guy to see if he was like lying about being a beggar, which by the way he is. And
spoilers.
Spoiler. And so I like go to like his wife because he's in this like he's actually a rich person. And I was like, "Hey, look!"
Always the rich fuckers.
I know. I was like, "Hey, look! Your husband's like pretending to be a beggar. Here's the clothes or whatever." And she goes, "That's fucked if that's true. I'll find out. Come back in a few days." So it's like real world days to go back and then finish that story. It's not just like immediate, right?
Not just like quest cash in and you get your reward and stuff like that.
It's just it's taking away the video game-ness of it, And I could say more, but I think it's fucking great. And the last thing I was going to say about the chugging of the NPCs, when I played Ultima 7 back in the day, which I talk about that game all the time, it chugged like a motherfucker. So,
but you still had fond memories of it.
I still had fun. In town, are you kidding me? In town with all those NPCs, it was fucking chugging.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit. So
that's cool. I mean, and again, I like good performance just like anybody does, but it's not like usually a make or break unless I find that it really interferes with gameplay because I'm all about like the story and the experience and the fun and stuff, and I'm pretty quick to forgive something like that, so I'm not really too concerned about it. But
yeah,
I'm sure they'll improve it as time goes on, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, what you're telling me is even better than I had hoped, and Darren Foreman, who's reviewing it for us at Game Critics, has had just like wonderful things to say about it, which has got me excited for that as well. Seeing all those 10s, I realize they're not all 10s, but like tons of, the fact that it even got like a couple 10s and it got more than a couple is also really, really heartening because as a big time fan of the first one, I really wanted this one to succeed and it sounds like it is succeeding.
Yeah. It caught me off guard because I had kind of not the best experience going back to the first one. Yeah. But this is just like, it's the best iteration of it. So. It's great.
That's amazing. All right. Excellent. I'm sure we'll be talking about it some more. Dragon's Dogma 2.
We will.
Sounds like one to watch this year. All right, folks. Game portion of our show is officially done, but we usually do close out with a few non-games things to talk about. I've got a couple this week. Carlos, you got anything non-gaming to talk about before we bounce?
Just one, I think. The show that I'm watching and I'm obsessed with is The Three-Body Problem is finally out.
All right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about it. I haven't done any looking into it. I know you recommended it. I put it on my list, but I kind of want to go into it cold, and I'm looking forward to it. So are you done with it or not yet?
No, I'm in. I have like 3 or 4 episodes left, and it's like 8 or 9 episodes, I think.
So pretty short.
Pretty short. Well, each one's an hour. So
all right. Yeah,
but
yeah, 20 episodes or something. So.
I think I have the book, and I started the book, and it was a little bit difficult of a read. So I'm like, well, I might just watch the show now. And it's some of the same people who worked in Game of Thrones, which I can love or hate because I don't like some of the stuff they did in that show, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they don't. It sucks because the very beginning is not good because it's like and this is a minor spoiler, but it's from the book too. There's a brutal death, Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh no, here go those Game of Thrones people. They love their brutal deaths. But it was just in the beginning because it's from the story,
Yeah.
But no, it's fucking cool. It's I won't say anything about it because it's just sci-fi-y, interesting, and I like it a lot.
Gotcha. All right, what else you got? Anything?
That's it.
Okay. Couple things from me. We haven't watched it yet, but we saw the trailer. If you're looking for a fun family show, this looks like it's going to fit the bill. We're going to watch it this afternoon. It's on Hulu. I believe it's called Davy and Jonesy's Locker. It kind of looks like an updated Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure a little bit. From the trailer, it's these two girls who have a magical sci-fi locker at school, and it takes them to these alternate dimensions, different worlds. It seems like there's some kind of plot from the other dimensions to take over our dimension. Lots of monsters, giant spiders, goop, slime, laughs, weird action. It seems just like a really fun kind of teen oriented sort of a, romp. So that looks really cool. It just came out this week, so we're going to give that a watch this afternoon because we are in need of a new family show. So just heads up that's around. I'll probably comment on it next week. I will say I bumped Extraordinary up on my list after you raved about it. I mean, I knew it was good. I love season 1. Extraordinary season 2. So the wife and I watched it. Oh man, just as good. Fucking, that's a great ass show. Extraordinary is so good. No, we got a couple. Okay. I think we have 2 episodes left
because that ending is great. And you're
no, not there yet. But oh my god, we just fell right back into it. Extraordinary is so fucking good. The cast is so great. Everything about it. The music is fucking phenomenal. The laughs. It's just like the best show. And we finally got around to Reservation Dogs season 3.
Oh, good,
dude. I know we've said this before and we've talked about it. We mention it all the time, but that it's got to be one of the greatest shows to ever be on television. It's got to be.
It really is. Yeah.
It really is, dude. And it's weird because I feel like season 3 has been a little bit different than the previous 2 seasons. They've been kind of jumping around a little bit, and we're about halfway through. I think we got maybe 4 episodes left of it. And not to spoil anything, but we got to one of the episodes and it was interesting, but we were like, what the fuck? Why did we even watch that episode? What does that have to do with anything else? And I'm like, no, I trust these guys. They've been so good so far. And we waited a little bit and then it came back around. I'm like, okay, I see what we're doing here. Okay. So that makes sense. And just the way that they have this kind of circular storytelling and the way that they can do I mean, this sounds, I don't mean to sound weird, but they do nothing, nothing happens. And yet it's incredibly significant and super emotional and super meaningful that you're getting this little fake peek into someone's life where it it connects so hard. And we all, my wife, my son and I, we just man, we're just so into, we're just feeling this show so much. It's such a wonderful show.
And just a slight tangent. I think I told you to watch this. I'm guessing you didn't maybe, but 8th Grade, the movie 8th Grade.
Not yet.
Yeah, Bo Burnham directed that. So, but it does something similar where it's just a movie, but it's these small nuanced moments that aren't epic things happening, but it's still a feeling, That's kind of a tangent, but yeah.
I'll bump it up on the list. We got a list of literally got 400 items on the list. So we're constantly moving things up the list and down the list, and it's we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay.
Reservation Dogs season 3, fucking incredible. Extraordinary season 2, incredible. And then we'll see if Davy and Jonesy's Locker is any good, but we'll get there. And folks,
I'm excited to see Dune. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see Dune 2 big time.
Oh man, yeah, Dune 2. Yeah, I don't even know what to even think about Dune. We watched Dune number 1, and it's one of those movies where it's I really liked it a lot, and also it was just weird, and it's kind of cold and kind of off-putting, but I think they meant it to be that way.
Yep.
And looking at number 2, I'm like, no, I guess I have to watch it again because I don't remember what happened in number 1, and now it just seems so strange, and I don't know if it feels almost intimidating before I watch that movie. Do you know what I mean?
It's like a book. It is, and it's just it's a vibe, And the director did Blade Runner 2049 or whatever, and so I just like the worlds that he creates. So
yeah, I'm building up the mental fortitude to watch Dune 2, but I am definitely interested in watching it. So anyway, all right, folks, that is a show. Before we close, we would love for you to leave reviews, share us on social media, and most important of all, recommend us to your friends because nothing beats word of mouth. And starting with this show forward, if you want to get in on our Discord, just send us an email. I'll let you in for free. Otherwise, if you would like to support the podcast, we would be happy to have you do so since the cost of running the show keeps going up and up. You can do that over at patreon.com/the So Videogames podcast. Chip in if you wish. If you don't wish, then you'll still get the same great show and you're not going to be blocked from anything. As always, we do want to get your questions and comments. Hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up individually as well. Carlos, where are we sending your traffic this week?
Just TikTok, glitch to the ground.
There you go. As for me, I'm on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Instagram. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And this is going to do it for episode 381. Thank you again so much for joining us here on the Videogames podcast, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.